Thanks for staying tuned to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and I'm joined by Tom Dunn from Gateway Arch Riverboats. We've been talking about all the cruises that you can do along the Mississippi River. But now I want to get kind of into, you've been doing this into the history, because you've been doing this for how many years? a
little over 40.
40 years, almost every day on the Mississippi.
Just about.
Just about. What's that like? I mean, do you feel just you love the river? Is this just your...
Well, what's really the best part is the number of people. We see people from all over the world, obviously visiting the Arch, and they also want to see St. Louis's only natural attraction, which is the Mississippi. And when you think of people like Mark Twain and he's known throughout the world and all his literature and so on, that people really want to come and see this river that's been, written about so much. And then you still see the people coming down and putting their hand in the water, and then we even have little bottles of Mississippi River water too. They could take home with them because there's so much history and nostalgia to the Mississippi.
So let's talk about that history. Let's talk about maybe some of the little-known facts, lesser-known facts, maybe facts that people know. So we're downtown at the Arch. I mean, how wide is that across, roughly, from on the St. Louis side to Illinois side?
Probably a third of a mile or a half a mile wide, but it's rather narrow there compared to the rest of the river, and the currents are pretty strong there. It's very deceiving.
Yes, we were actually talking with someone else here at the studio about that earlier today, about the Mississippi. That isn't it said it always looks kind of slightly calm in the front, but underneath it's... Tell me about that with the undercurrents
and whirlpools, and it just, I forget, something like 400,000 cubic feet pass every second. So I mean, it's a huge volume of water, and it's very deceiving. It looks very placid, but it can be very deceiving.
Yeah, on a hot day, you think you might be able to swim right across it, and no. I mean, how deep is it too when you're down at the Arch?
It varies. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was say 30, 40 feet. Ordinarily, it's around 20 feet or so.
Is it?
Right. And at St. Louis here, 20, 25.
20 feet, and then when it floods, it goes all the way up. I mean,
well, the new Lenore K. Sullivan was 5 feet above that, which was there's an arbitrary zero mark back in the 1840s when the river got real low. The rivermen say, well, let's call this zero. Anything above will be plus, anything below will be minus. And just this last year, it got up to plus 38 feet. In the flood of '93, it got almost up to, it was 49.6 feet.
Wow.
Which really was major.
So when people are on the cruises, do they learn about, sort of from the captain and from the staff, learn about facts about the Mississippi?
Right. Our captains are very knowledgeable, and they narrate throughout the entire cruise. And we also have a National Park Ranger on the cruise who gives also a different perspective of the river and the history of St. Louis as it relates to the river and obviously to the national park.
So what are people probably most surprised about when the captain tells one fact, like a certain fact or story? What are people most sort of the ahs and oohs about, or that they didn't know?
Oh, it depends on what person's individual interests are. You have people come up and ask all sorts of questions. How deep is the river? And and of course, one thing about St. Louis, it's a working river, and so you'll see a lot of towboats and barges, and they'll ask questions about what does that towboat have, and the captain can actually talk to the other captain, find out what the commodities are on those barges. And so it's really an interesting cruise. St. Louis is a major port.
I want to talk about one of the cruises that you do, the Lock and Dam cruise. Tell me about that.
That's a trip we have in the fall. We have it on weekends on a Saturday, and that's like a 5-hour cruise. And it boards around 10 o'clock in the morning, and the boat goes upriver. It goes through Lock 27, and this is the massive lock and gate system along the Mississippi, one of 27 locks. You go through the locks, which is very interesting. They raise the boat up, and then you continue north, and you go all the way up to the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers. And of course, there's a very nice luncheon on board and live music. And then we turn around, come back down, and we arrive back in St. Louis like around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's a nice, afternoon cruise.
Sure, that's a really nice experience. Lastly, before we wrap things up, cafe. Tell me about the cafe.
Oh, right below the Arch there. Actually, when you go to the Arch, there's not many places to go and eat. And right below the Arch, we have the Archview Cafe, which is open throughout the day, every day, throughout the summer months. So it has a very nice menu. It's very popular.
Yeah. So you can dine right on the Mississippi.
Right.
You can dine on the Mississippi, or you can take a cruise. There's the information for you. It's the Gateway Arch Riverboat cruises. Offer a variety. We've been covering them: the brunches, the dinners, the lock-in dams, the blues cruise. Pretty much everything you can imagine. You can enjoy this cruise going on the Mississippi. The season somewhat wraps up in November, but there's still some stuff after that. But now is a great time. So for more information, go to gatewayarch.com. And thank you, Tom, for being here.
You.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Well, when we're not done yet, and there's more STL Live coming your way. We'll be right back after this break.